What if the cure was worse than the disease? What if the one weapon that could kill a god didn't just leave a hole, but planted the seeds for something far more terrifying? An evil born from the chemical ghost of a world-ending bomb. This isn't a monster that's a force of nature. It's a force of pure, calculated evil. It doesn't want to fight for territory. It wants to erase its enemies. This is the story of the one titan truly capable of ending Godzilla for good. In 1954, humanity built a weapon to kill a god, the oxygen destroyer, and it worked. But in the dark depths of the ocean, their ultimate solution didn't just cause an end. It created a new beginning. This is the story of the one kaiju born from the legacy of Godzilla's past. A living weapon of extinction with one goal: wiping the king of the monsters from existence. This is the story of Destoroyah. To understand Destoroyah, you have to understand the very sin that created Godzilla. While Godzilla was born of nuclear fire, Destoroyah is the consequence of the weapon made to kill him. When Dr. Serizawa detonated the oxygen destroyer in Tokyo Bay to kill the first Godzilla, he also triggered a horrifying chemical reaction on the seabed. This event didn't just kill a monster, it woke something up. A colony of microscopic crustaceans from the Precambrian era, which had been dormant for eons, were supercharged by the weapon's power. For 40 years, these creatures mutated in the dark, their evolution twisted down an unnatural, horrifying path. They learned to weaponize the very thing that gave them new life: microoxygen. Unlike Godzilla, a creature driven by instinct, this new entity was different. It was a hive mind, a collective consciousness of ancient life, given a singular, hateful purpose. It was the living embodiment of the oxygen destroyer. The horror didn't start with a roar, but with a silent, creeping dread. The first sign was bizarre fish in an aquarium dissolving into skeletons. This was Destoroyah's microform, the first stage of its terrifying life cycle. But it didn't stay small for long. These microscopic killers began to merge, combining into man-sized juvenile forms that looked like demonic armored crabs. When they swarmed a Tokyo office building, the military response was fast but futile. Bullets bounced right off their exoskeletons. Creatures were relentless, tearing through soldiers and blasting a spray of pure microoxygen that disintegrated organic matter on contact. They were only pushed back by flamethrowers, which revealed their first big weakness: extreme temperatures. But that was just a temporary win. The surviving creatures fused again, evolving into a monstrous aggregate form that dwarfed tanks and shrugged off maser cannon fire. It was no longer just a swarm. It was a single, kaiju-sized engine of destruction. As the military scrambled and deployed new freeze-based weapons, Destoroyah's hive mind made a tactical move. It evolved again. Its aggregate form sprouted massive, bat-like wings, becoming a horrifying flying form that soared into Tokyo to continue its rampage. At this point, humanity knew they were beaten. One desperate option left: lure Godzilla into a fight, hoping one monster could kill the other. But the monster that answered the call wasn't Godzilla. It was his son, Godzilla Jr., now bigger and more powerful. Jr. intercepted the flying demon, blasting it out of the sky and forcing it back into its aggregate form. For a second, it looked like the young prince might actually win. But Destoroyah isn't just strong, it's cruel. It ambushed Jr., using a hidden inner jaw to inject microoxygen right into his bloodstream, a move designed purely to cause pain and drain life. Though Jr. fought back and seemed to destroy the creature, the damage was done. Destoroyah had absorbed Jr.'s energy and DNA, giving it the boost it needed for its final, terrifying transformation. From the flames of the refinery, Destoroyah was reborn. Using the energy it absorbed from Jr., it achieved its perfect form. Standing 120 meters tall, it was a demonic mirror of Godzilla himself, a bipedal nightmare of spikes, armor, and wings. It found the wounded Godzilla Jr. and showed a level of sadism no kaiju ever had before. It snatched him, flew him high into the air, and dropped him onto the stadium below. As Godzilla arrived, helpless to intervene, Destoroyah blasted his dying son with one final, merciless microoxygen beam, killing him. What followed wasn't just a battle. Godzilla, enraged, and simultaneously entering a catastrophic nuclear meltdown, unleashed wave after wave of his most powerful red spiral heat ray blast, that had crippled other monsters in just a few hits. Destoroyah took them. It fought back with its deadliest weapon, the variable slicer. An energy blade from its horn that sliced through Godzilla's flesh with ease. It could even divide into smaller forms to dodge fatal blows and drain Godzilla's energy directly with its tail. This wasn't a fight for dominance. This was one monster, born from science's ultimate sin, trying to extinguish the other. Destoroyah's pure evil and unique origin make it Godzilla's ultimate nemesis. But what do you think? Is Destoroyah the single greatest threat to Godzilla, or does another kaiju deserve that title? Let me know in the comments below. In the end, Godzilla was already dying from his own meltdown. It was a combination of his immense internal heat and the military's freezing weapons that finally defeated Destoroyah. As its wings were frozen, it fell to the superheated ground and was vaporized. Yet its legacy remains. Destoroyah is more than just a powerful monster. It's a thematic bookend to Godzilla himself. It's a reminder that for every force of nature, humanity can create an unnatural force of pure destruction. But Godzilla's own legacy proved stronger. In his final moments, Godzilla released his energy. Not in a world-ending explosion, but in a wave of life-giving radiation that was absorbed by his fallen son. From the ashes, Godzilla Jr. rose, reborn as the new king of the monsters. And so we're left with a haunting question. If the oxygen destroyer was ever used again, what new horrors might crawl out from the abyss?